So I have a quick story for you guys. Had a friend call me up and said that he has a contact that's going to be at the same flea market that I'm going to be the next day. I call the guy and I start talking to him and he tells me he's going to have a U-Haul full of all the stuff that I buy. He will be there at 5 o'clock in the morning the next day and I got to be there to beat everybody else up and I'll have first dibs. So I get there, I walk out of my car at 5:03 and I'm looking for this guy. Nowhere to be found. Then I start calling him and texting him. I'm like, hey, it's 5:30, it's 6, it's 6:30. Where is this guy? About 6:45, he calls me and tells me that he overslept. So now I'm, at the flea market, whatever, and now I'm dealing with all these other vendors. I ended up getting a phone call from him telling me that he's now arrived. I'm in the middle of another huge deal buying vintage toys from somebody else, and he's calling me telling me that there's now 40 people outside of his truck waiting to get in. I ask him where he is because it's a big field. He tells me that he's in one place, and I go to that place, and then he tells me he's in another. By the time I actually arrive to find this guy, he is, not even kidding, at the back of this giant U-Haul that's full of stuff, and there's about 40 people there, and he's just screaming out my name looking for me, because he's never met me before, so I wave and tell him that's who I am. He tells everybody in the crowd that I have first dibs, and until I look at everything, he can't sell it to anybody else, which is a pretty cool feeling. So I get up there, and now I start looking through the stuff, and I'm asking him prices. His prices were through the roof, so I couldn't even, buy almost anything there. But I had a ton of friends that were in that crowd of people who really wanted stuff that were in that truck. So what I ended up doing is hooking all of them up. There are people who are clothes buyers who owned vintage shops. I grabbed boxes of jeans and handed to them. There are people who are, toy collectors, that there were certain toys that I weren't going to buy. I handed those to those people, and military collectibles to the military collectible guy. So I basically started helping this guy, saying, hey, this is the person you want to deal with for jeans. This is the person you want to deal with for military stuff. Because when you go to a flea market for 10 plus years, you know all the other buyers and what they buy, and they know what you buy. So you sometimes can point stuff out to people. So after helping everyone else out, and I know in the future that they'll help me out, the only thing I could pretty much find was this, which this is a 2001 Harry Potter original Hogwarts playset. If you ever find these, especially in the box isn't in great shape, but it is new in box. This guy is worth about $350. So I ended up buying this with about 6 or 7 other things for about $60. So it'll end up being worth my time, but at the same time, it's kind of disappointing that, I had to run over there and go through the stuff and everything was too expensive. So the trick is sometimes just find that one thing that you can make money off of that person doesn't know is valuable.